What's going on, guys? Welcome back. Droid Life Show today, episode 250. Nice even number there. It's Friday, February 26th. Shout out my mom. It's her birthday today, February 26th. Happy birthday, Mom. Thanks for joining us. We have a good show. I'm Kellen, your host. Tim with me. Tim, say hi.
Hey guys, how's it going? Happy birthday, Kellen's mom.
Yes, happy birthday, Mom. So on the show, though, we're talking Android 12, big thing. We almost held a show last week to talk about it because it actually came out last week. Almost, but 2 weeks in a row would be very weird for us at this point. So we'll talk about that. We'll catch up on that. Anything that's new there that we can share with you and just our general sort of feelings. I've actually been running it for 2 weeks now. And we'll talk about that. We also just have some other features in Android coming to everyone. There's a Pixel 5a sort of leak, sort of render thing happening. It's not exciting, by the way, but that did happen. More Samsung news. They continue to push their title as king of updates. So we'll talk a little bit about that. They may switch to Android for smartwatches. Hopefully that's Wear OS, so it can save that platform. We'll see. I did review the Galaxy S21, and I would show that to you right now, but it's already like on the desk behind me with no SIM turned off. If that tells you where I went with the review. And T-Mobile has brought back truly unlimited data, which we haven't had in a really, really long time. We'll have trivia as well, where Aukey, I never remember how to say the name. I always want to say Aukey, but you think it's Aukey, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, I pronounce it Aukey, but
anyway,
it's gold key, right? So however you would pronounce like the AU, and then key, I don't know. It doesn't matter, right? We got sweet chargers for trivia, so who cares?
They hooked up a bunch of sweet chargers. They're Omnius 65-watt chargers, and they're slim, they're fast, they're hot. I think I actually have one of these in my kitchen. Is that the dual plug, the dual port version? Which one is that?
This is a dual port 65-watt power delivery, that GAN stuff, so it's nice and small. But yeah, dual port. It's got USB-C with the power delivery and then a USB-A port. So these are sweet. These are totally cool.
Yeah, I think that may be the one I have in my kitchen, and I use it to charge everything because that's kind of what it does, and it's tiny. Anyway, so we have 5 of those to give away for trivia at the end of the show. So huge shout out to Aukey for that. Those are really sweet prizes. If you do not have one of those, you will want to win trivia today. Also, the folks at Ewin Racing are sponsoring the show once again. Ewin.
Yeah, shout out to Ewin Racing. We're still partnering with Ewin Racing. I've had my gaming chair now for this exact chair for a year in next month, I believe, in March, and no problems yet. My massage therapist says I got a little kind of stiff back, but that's from years of headbanging and metal playing, so that has nothing to do with the chair. The chair has actually been very good. The quality I've been pretty darn impressed with. I don't know if you've had any issues with yours, but my chair's kicking butt. Great. Like after a year, I'm still like loving it. I got my tilt feature worked out. So if you guys don't already have like a gaming chair, and if you know anything about the internet, you'll know that everyone has to have a gaming chair.
You have to.
You absolutely have to. If you want to be taken seriously as a Twitch streamer or any type of gamer or anything, if you're working from home, podcaster, you got to have a gaming chair. So in order to get one like ours, we have a 30% off code. Use code DroidLife, DroidLife, at Ewin. At their website. We've got a link down in the description below, and you can get 30% off, bringing, say, like a $300 chair down to $200, and that's free shipping. And I'm telling you, these chairs are pretty nice, so check it out. Use our code. It helps us out, and yeah, thank you very much for your time.
All right, so Android 12 is it showed up right when same time we got Android 11 last year, kind of like second week February, mid-February-ish. Last year we got the first Android 11 developer preview, and we got the same thing this year. We got Android 12 developer preview 1, and let me just swipe away some notifications so I can show people this thing. Up and running on Pixel 5 It's also running on, you have it running on like a Pixel 4a 5G, don't you, or something like that?
Yes, I do. Pixel 4a 5G swiping. There it is. Beautiful.
So it's on obviously these two phones because they're the newest: the regular 4A, the 3A line, the 4 line, and the 3 line. The Pixel 2 has been retired, so it's not on that. So any still supported Pixel phone, which again takes us back to the Pixel 3, you can run Android Developer Preview 1 if you want to, and Android 12 Developer Preview. You probably shouldn't. Google has labeled this as for developers only. The beta program is not open. This is totally developer stuff. There will be a beta program at some point, and that's kind of when Google says, sure, you can all run this now if you want to. It still might have some issues, but we feel much better about that than you running these. They've released a timeline. So the first preview's out now. March, we should get a second. April, we should get a third preview. And then in May, which this is kind of the schedule they followed for a number of years now. In May, typically around when we would have Google I/O, assuming that comes back this year, we get a beta. That's when it opens up for everyone. And so there should be at least 3-4 beta releases. And then after August, maybe early September, we could get the final build of Android 12. Again, that's the exact schedule we followed for last year. I think we got Android 11 stable first week of September or somewhere around there. Maybe it was the second week. Either way, early September is kind of when you should pencil that in. So it is Android S, even though we don't really refer to these things as S or by their letter names or their dessert names. We just call them numbers. So it is Android 12, Developer Preview 1. We think the name might be Snow Cone, right? Isn't that sort of what everyone believes, that it's Snow Cone?
Correct.
So should we talk about what's new in it?
Absolutely.
So I actually think this is going to be a pretty big update. Once we get through these early developer previews and get to beta, I think Google's working on some pretty big stuff, assuming they finish it, right? We've seen developer previews in the past where people discover stuff buried early on and then it never shows up when we get to stable. Like Google looks at it and goes, we're just not quite ready for this yet. I feel like they've been working on a desktop mode for a couple of years now. Bubbles, remember Bubbles were first introduced in like Android 10, I think, and they said not ready, and then we got them in Android 11. So a lot of the stuff we're seeing, yes, they're working on, we don't know if it'll actually launch right now. Right. That said, there's a bunch of stuff that we think is kind of cool. For example, we think there's going to be a wallpaper-based theming engine sort of thing with Android 12, where you throw on a wallpaper. So, for example, this wallpaper, kind of orangish, reddish, some colors going on there. So with this, it would then theme the notification shade. It could theme some icons. It could theme the settings menu. So it pulls color from this to then theme your entire phone. So rather than like on Samsung phones, right, you have to download a theme, this would just sort of look at whatever your wallpaper is and say, cool, you must want those colors throughout the OS. And so it'll do that in the settings menus, all that stuff. So that's kind of feature number one. None of that is enabled. I would show that to you, but we don't have any of that. So like, here's what mine looks like right now. Just kind of a whitish color. They're playing right now with a sort of a default bluish tint everywhere, which I'm not sure everyone loves, but we think that'll change. Again, not enabled. One developer was able to turn it on and sent a bunch of screenshots. And so that's all we've really seen, but kind of a cool idea. They're tweaking the settings menu to look very much, I don't have it enabled, to look very much like Samsung's One UI. It's currently internally named Silky Home, and it does the Samsung approach. Oh, you have it.
I'm trying to show it the best I can.
So it pushes everything down. It's sort of this idea of a one-handed use, right? Where you enter an area, it shows a big giant font up top and then pushes everything down so you can reach it with one hand. We're doing that. And it totally is the idea of One UI. OnePlus has copied this as well in their Android 11 update for Oxygen OS. And then we're seeing Google probably adopt similar things. So a bunch of UI changes. And, Android 11 didn't bring much there. We got like a new notification area that still doesn't look that great. So we're hopefully improving that. System changes, all of that. So that's fun. We're going to get a double tap gesture probably. on the back of the phone. And this is one of those things that, again, Google's been working on for at least one other release, where you should just be able to tap on the back of the phone like this twice, and it'll launch Assistant or whatever you want it to do. It could even open the notification shade. They're giving us some more controls over media. The notification area in general just looks cleaner. I feel like a little more polished versus Android 11. The dark theme we've seen so far isn't quite pitch black. It's not that AMOLED black, which I actually appreciate because I don't love AMOLED black. It's a little too black, I think, a little too sharp. Let's see what else. We might get a one-handed mode. Again, that's something they're working on. There might be picture-in-picture changes. Again, something they're working on. New lock screen customizations. The lock screen customizations, we're talking maybe new clock options, although those could be Pixel exclusive, I think XDA reported. So lots of changes. Unfortunately, in this first preview, we can't really show any of it to you because it's all behind the scenes. These are like feature flags. You just have to know the string in ADB in order to enable them. And look, we know a couple of them, but not all of them. So Android 12, it's got some good changes. We don't have it yet. Like, I think I hope there. I hope like next preview they enable it, or maybe the next. I hope before the beta, because a lot of times when we get to beta, they don't really add a bunch of new stuff after beta, right? Because you're supposed to be testing it now, and then we get to beta. So hopefully they enable, especially the UI stuff, the system wallpaper UI stuff, very, very soon. That's kind of it for now, right? Android 12. Like, developer previews are so early that it's hard to.
Yeah, I mean, it's sure. I mean, but it's still exciting, right? I mean, like, just to drop it, like, it's only February and we're already getting Android 12 on some devices. Like, that's cool. It's not, I wouldn't say it's stable enough for anyone needs to go into ADB and flash it and use it as their daily driver, unless they themselves maybe are developers. But it's really cool. I mean, it means just like you and me, our job, it means that these months, like, they go quicker. Like, when you're anticipating new developer preview builds and then being able to talk about that, do videos on it, like, it kind of fills up your calendar. So it's a good time of the year, you know, and it's never a bad thing.
Well, for example, what's great about this is LG just released their first Android 11 update in the US moments before we went on air, and we're already running Android 12. So good job, LG, for just now getting around to last year's version of Android. Another cool thing that I didn't mention is they're tweaking audio on the phone, where they're gonna match audio up with the haptics of the phone to sort of give you a little more immersive feedback there while you're playing. There's support for additional video codecs, image types. I'm trying to think of the damn word there. Those are kind of developer stuff. There's more privacy features built in and all of that stuff as well. But the upfront stuff is UI changes, and this might be one of the biggest we've had in probably a couple of years. So.
Yeah, David he in the chat asks a fantastic question. Since most of the mainstream audience would rely on Samsung devices more than any other OEM, what will this do for One UI 4 or One UI 3.5, whatever they're going to call it? I assume it'll be 4. But so a lot of the things that we see Google do with, say, like the Pixel experience, we don't really see that come to Samsung devices. But if this is just sort of Android 12, like sort of those basic things like the media controls, like the way Google is changing those things, notification area changes, general changes to the way Android looks, you could definitely see that go to One UI. A lot of the stuff like a one-handed mode, or sort of the Silky Home settings UI. These are things that Samsung has been doing for a while. Yeah. So we see we see Google work that into AOSP sometimes. But for the most part, it's going to be like the general little things that you're going to see pop up into One UI. I don't know if we're going to see like the double tap back gesture come to One UI, but I mean, hey, if that came to all phones, that'd be kind of cool. I don't know exactly how that worked. Do we know exactly like what sensor they're using to recognize taps on the back? Like probably the gyroscope or whatever.
I'm assuming something like that. Yeah,
that's cool. If that came to all phones, I'd be super happy. And then like the way they design like toggles, maybe that could become like a thing you see. But I mean, for the picture-in-picture changes, but again, Samsung has been doing that years before Google ever touched it. So, yeah, it's probably going to be a lot of little things.
If you have questions about how stuff like that works, Michal from XDA just showed up and he said, "Yep, accelerometer and gyroscope." So there you go. If you have a question about it,
if you have a question, hit him up.
He's the one that discovered a lot of the stuff that we just talked about. So if you have a question, feel free to drop that in the chat. But comparing to Samsung, the one thing which might suck is we just talked about the like wallpaper based UI thing, right? I don't know that I see Samsung adopting something like that because they have their whole theme store. Like people sell themes on Samsung phones. And if you change it to a wallpaper based thing, I don't know how that affects that. And maybe it just makes that a cooler sort of package of things. Because I guess you're selling icon packs there and wallpaper. So I guess maybe it still does it and then it just themes throughout. But I hope other people adopt that because if Google pushes that and it's as cool as we think it is, yes, I like those are those things that Samsung could pick up that would be very, very fun to see. So
yeah, I'm kind of with you in thinking that Samsung maybe doesn't bring like the whole theme managers. I mean, like it's a great way for them to get more money, right? When they want you to install those themes and those wallpaper packs and icons and stuff, they're 99 cents, and it just helps support their developers, I guess. I don't know who those people are, where they live, but
do people buy Samsung theme wallpaper packs?
I mean, they
got actually bought one of those.
Yeah, I don't. I don't. I remember last year. It was either last year or the year before where I saw like Samsung did like a whole September 11th theme thing, and I said, "Nah, I'm good. I'm out of here." Like that was weird.
That's a little weird.
It was.
Well, didn't they get rid of they were letting people either test or have free themes for a while? Did they get rid of that and it pissed everyone off? I feel like they did that too, but it's been so long since I've like gone into the Samsung theme store that. Yeah. Anyways. So Android 12, it feels like there's a bunch of big changes coming. We're just waiting for the next preview to hope that maybe they enable some more of it, or it might be the third preview right before beta. We see a lot of these changes. Either way, it's exciting soon. Like it's fun to have a new build and running on a phone. And I've had it on this Pixel 5 since it came out, and I got to say I haven't ventured out into the real world a lot, so I don't know if I would trust it. I will today venture out into the real world, because a lot of people always ask us, should you run this or not? Like we said, Google said no, you should not run this, but I haven't ventured into the real world to test whether or not I trust it and if it will work. But we'll try that today. I'll take the risk and report back if anyone needs. I will bring a second phone
just in case.
All right. Anything else with Android 12 there?
No, just that you can expect, Samsung to, once it's released, to put it out to devices quicker than anybody else because Samsung's the king of updates. So I just like to hammer that point,
Yeah, you really do like to hammer that. Speaking of that, that is like a topic that we should address. So Samsung announced this week that they said that we said that they're getting better at updates, even though we already call them the king of updates. So what they announced this week is it's a little confusing, and they're probably purposely doing it this way. We asked for more specifics, and they said we have none. It was something really blunt, wasn't it? Like we have no specifics. Like we're not going to talk about any of that. Anyway, what they announced was their phones. A number of phones dating back to the S10 line, I believe, they are going to now receive at least 4 years of security updates. Now, they've kind of done this for a while already. I mean, they've been supporting phones for like the S7 just got cut off last year. It was in its 4th year. The S8 will be cut off probably. When was the S8 released? Was that an April phone or a March phone? I can't remember. Either way, in the next month, the S8 will be cut off, but it's on 4 years. It'll have seen 4 years of updates. So the 4 years thing isn't new. It's the at least part, right? So at least 4. So they're opening it up to potentially supporting for more than 4 years. But again, we asked for the specifics there, and they didn't They didn't want to provide those. We said, like, what phones? How are you doing? Like, well, I emailed them and they didn't respond. Tim emailed them separately and he at least got the, like, yeah, we're not going to talk about that, Tim. So there's a chance that, like, the S21 maybe gets 4.5, 5 years of security updates, which is great. I mean, they're already doing 4, which is longer than anyone in Android. So that's good. And now they may do more. They didn't confirm to any additional Android version updates. We're still at 3 there, which is what Google does. But they said there's a chance for additional. Is it a huge deal? This is what they were already doing, unless they will actually tell us that they're doing more. You know, if the Galaxy S21 gets 5 years, that's great. Where they're kind of leaving it open is, you know, if they can probably look at their numbers and see how many S21s are still in the wild 4 years from now. And if they need to push a couple more, like 1 or 2 more security updates, like maybe they go to every 6 months in the 5th year or something. I mean, whatever they do. So just know that Samsung is the king, and they've advanced that a little bit further, or at least taken a news cycle and grab the headline that they're, which we gladly gave them, that they are.
They're so good at that.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, I mean, it's better than what you're getting from LG or, you know, these other companies. I mean, like, why you're doing, I think I've said that, I don't know why I said it, but you're doing yourself a disservice. Basically, if you get anything other than a Pixel and a Samsung device, I mean, even OnePlus is like, they don't seem that great at this whole update thing. Yeah. So, yeah, Motorola, I mean, you know, God forbid you get anything. If you care about, you know, back in the day, these Android people cared about updates. So if that's still the case, Samsung and Google is pretty much your only options. I've seen more people say they don't care as much about updates, which really kind of irks me, just because we hammered on these companies so hard on behalf of y'all, because you guys made it seem like updates. We want updates. And so we wrote as if we need more updates. And now you people say you don't want updates. I'm so confused. If it's not one thing,
I believe that. I think people care about it. I've never actually bought into the idea that people don't care that much about updates. If anybody follows anyone who owns an iPhone, when an update comes out, you know that an update's out. People who own iPhones know that updates are there, and then those people grab that update immediately because it's available to everyone, right? Apple doesn't do the slow rollout garbage that everyone else does, right? Like, they know their stuff's good and they push it out, and if there's a bug, they fix it, I feel like, immediately and just make another update available. So I've never bought into that idea that people don't care. Like, I think people really care about updates.
Well, at least for the major Android upgrades, right? Like, I get that security updates, it's all behind the scenes stuff. You don't really see anything. But those major updates, I see one person, Cold CC, in the chat says each version looks the same. Like, Android has become stale. Like, I don't necessarily agree. I don't wholeheartedly agree. I agree a little bit. But I mean, how do you think iPhone users feel? I mean, their OSs look the same forever. So we've seen tons of changes. Even Android 11 brought quite a few changes. So I think sorry. I just wanted to say Android has not Plutoed or plateaued, I think. You're going.
I think we're going for plateaued there.
Yeah.
So my theory on that is, initially iOS had such a lead, right, in features and just the platform in general maturity. And so then Android came along, and remember early on it was, well, Android's just stealing features from iOS, right? Remember we did that whole thing like, oh, Android's just copying iOS. It's just an iOS clone. They sued Samsung, all of that stuff. Well, then the Android ecosystem like exploded, and they created all these features because they had all these OEMs like innovating on top of skins, and then Google was playing catch up with them. And so it was like the Android world competed with itself to see who could invent the most stuff, add the most features. And so it just exploded, right? And Apple, meanwhile, just sat back and took in everyone's ideas, right? And instead of just slapping it all in one build of iOS, they've just been slowly adding. And so people think Android's boring because Android blew up so quickly and everyone added so much stuff to it that there isn't a lot to do. Whereas Apple has just slowly been going, oh, I like that idea. Oh, I like that one. And we'll tweak it slightly, which is why everyone does well, Apple waited, they just did it better. That's like the excuse Apple guys do when they copy a feature, like, well, Apple did it better. And maybe they have a little bit, right? Because they've taken their time to say, well, we could tweak it a little bit. But so Apple continues to add these Android features that we've had forever, like a home screen and stuff, or not a home screen, like an app drawer and widgets, right? They just got widgets this year or last year. So the thought there is that, yes, Android kind of comes off as boring because it already did everything. And iOS isn't as boring because they're just catching up, if that makes sense. That was a really roundabout way to get there, but
yeah, no, it makes perfect sense to me.
And so thankfully, though, we have companies like Samsung and even OnePlus who are taking, base Android and they're skinning the hell out of it. But when they're skinning the hell out of it, they're adding new features to stuff. Like One UI constantly has new stuff. And we're at the point now where it's just all so advanced, and a lot of it has, it jumps from your phone to your tablet to your computer, and it's sort of this like handoff between all three. And a lot of it's fairly advanced to the point where I don't know if most people even know the stuff exists, but that's kind of where they're at. So anyway, Android went up here real quick, and iOS is slowly catching up by adding things like widgets, which we've had for a decade. And so it seems like they're more interesting, and it's fair. Maybe we'll see another push from Android. I don't know.
Wow.
Anyway, there's my theory there. Okay. So Samsung, anyway, back to the point. They're doing at least 4 years of updates now on major devices, including a bunch of tablets. So it's great.
Good stuff. All hail the king of Android updates.
I do feel like everyone's starting to jump on board with that a little bit. Like we've been, I think it was a year or so ago, I wrote that that Samsung deserves a lot more credit for their updates, and everyone ignored us and said, shut up. And then this year, I called them the king of Android updates, and a whole bunch of people were like, shut up, it's still Google. And then now this week when they announced this at least 4, I feel like the rest of the world has come around to, yeah, they are actually really good. Yeah, we've been telling you this for like 2 years now.
We try. I mean, we're kind of ahead of the curve with a lot of that stuff, so.
We just offer the takes. That's it. We'll just offer the take, and if you don't agree with it, that's fine, but you'll come around.
Yeah.
All right. In other Android feature news, Google announced this week. So Google, this must be a new regular thing they're going to do. In December, they announced that 6 new things were coming to Android, kind of through apps, the platform in general, that you could get without getting an actual software update. And again, mostly that's because of like Google Play services or Assistant or app updates. So this week they did a similar thing. They said, here are 6 new things coming to Android that, everyone should get. Like Google Maps is finally getting dark mode, which is so weird because they teased dark mode. Wasn't it like at the end of 2019 or something like that? When we first got a dark theme in Android, they showed off like dark theme Google Maps. And for whatever reason, it took 1.5 years. So it's finally here. I don't know. Do you have it yet? I'm going to look right now. I didn't have it earlier in the week.
I think I used Google Maps like yesterday and didn't have it. No.
It's kind of buried. You have to go into settings, and there's supposed to be a theme option. Yes, yeah, I still don't have it. So I have no idea if I will ever get it. But anyway, it's supposed to be here finally. It's official now. So Google Maps dark mode. The password checkup tool that is in Chrome is coming to phones via Google Autofill. So I know that's kind of confusing, but the checkup tool where like if you go to a website and you autofill a password and it pops up and says, hey, this could be compromised, your password matched up to a list of bad things, that's now coming to your phone. So if you have Google Autofill enabled and you autofill something that they scan against a database of, possibly affected passwords, it'll warn you. Message scheduling in Google Messages is official. This was first spotted, I want to say like in November or December of last year. I don't know if Mishal's still here, but I think he first spotted that. I think it was last year. It was like November or something. Anyway, so that's finally in Messages scheduling. More hands-free actions in Google Assistant where you can shout at your phone, not unlock it or touch it. They're giving you some more things there. They're tweaking sort of the card system and how Assistant looks there. Anyway, Android Auto getting more customizations, little wallpaper action. You can play Trivia Crack right on there, Tim, as you're driving around if you want to, or Jeopardy if that's more your thing. There's a whole new version of TalkBack as well. So all this stuff is coming. No update, no system update needed. But you'll just get this stuff as your apps update. Oh yeah, Michelle said, yeah, some dude first got it early November. Yeah, it was a while ago. It was one of those things where they announced it this week and I went, wait a minute. I swear we've been scheduling, or we've had the ability to schedule forever, but it was just one of those things where they tested the feature early. Some guy spotted it, sent a screenshot over. Android's so weird how slowly everything happens.
Oh yeah. Not much else to say about that.
No, there's not. So we've possibly got a first look at Google's Pixel 5a. Assuming there's a Google Pixel 5a, okay. We got what we believe to be a first look. So OnLeaks posted renders, and OnLeaks renders are almost always based off of sort of case schematics given to accessory makers who, have to get cases and accessories ready for phones. They know all the dimensions and how a phone will look, essentially like the shape, location of buttons, all of that stuff. So OnLeaks put together those renders again. The Pixel 5a, yes.
I've got the device. It's right here.
It looks identical to the Pixel 4a 5G or even the Pixel 5. It's almost an identical design, which isn't that surprising. If we were comparing it to the 5, it's the 5a. It should probably look similar, but yeah, it just looks like yours. I'm assuming there will be an upgraded processor in there maybe. Otherwise, I think we're mostly just expecting that phone again. I wish I could get excited about this one, but
no, this thing's gonna be a piece of junk. I don't know if it's
a piece of junk. The 4a 5G is a good phone, but
sure, the 4a 5G was a good phone. I think the Pixel 4a was just not what I was expecting, considering how popular the Pixel 3a was. Yeah. I'm sure this will be a fine device. We'll just have to see, right? What is this phone gonna be missing? Because it's gonna be missing probably quite a bit of stuff in terms of specs and stuff, but that's totally fine for the price. But then what the heck is the Pixel 5? I mean, Pixel and Google has been just doing weird stuff with hardware and specs and pricing right now. Like the 4a,
it's gonna be another weird year.
It's just going to be
it's gonna be another weird one. Yeah,
there you go. That's the best way to put it. It's going to be a weird year, folks. Honestly, maybe a little surprised that this phone's launching, to tell you the truth. Surprised to see a smartphone from Google in 2021. That was like one of the hotter takes I thought we had, maybe that Google just wasn't going to release a phone this year. So
it has been weird to see that it's the number of leaks, right? Google usually December of the prior year we've seen full on leaks and almost borderline reviews of upcoming Google phones, whereas this year it's been pretty quiet until right now. Their schedule is so weird. They released this 5a so they released the 5 end of the last year, and then in the middle of the next year they followed up with the A version. And last year just got all screwed up, obviously because of COVID and timing and that stuff. But the schedule is just weird in general. Like, I don't understand why you don't release a 5 and 5a at the same time, and you go, here's the cheap one, here's the expensive one, instead of doing like, here's the expensive one, here's a cheap one later on. And it's probably just a sales generating operation there where you just do 2 phone releases in a year. But it always feels so weird because you're in one year and then the next year, and you have the same model number. It's very confusing. Either way, this could be the 5a, and it looks like the 4a. And the 5 and the 4a 5G.
Dave asked a question in the chat real quick. He said, WTF did you want in the 4a to have that the 3a didn't? Oh, he's asking what I wanted in the 4a.
Yeah.
No, the 4a was just generally a bad device, performance wise. Thankfully, I wasn't the one who used it. I believe you were. But I can. No. Yeah, like I can read your device and get a sense for what something is. And it wasn't what the 3A was. The 3A was at least like a smooth experience. It was just a super cheap Pixel device that is going to get Android updates. And also, I was the one, even before an A line started with Pixel, that just hated the idea. And the 3A kind of proved me wrong, essentially. Like, so many people love the 3A, and I was way against it. I thought that I didn't understand why Google would make a cheap Pixel device when they were already kind of struggling making high-end devices. So
that's probably why.
but
You got to move
yeah,
some kind of units.
exactly. So they did good. So we'll see what happens with the 5A. There's just like hella 4As and 4A 5Gs, and I don't like everything splitting. Like, I would like a Pixel and a Pixel XL, and like, so the Pixel 5 kind of threw me off because this little baby, like, it doesn't have all the specs I would really want, like 90 hertz. Like, I get like the battery life is good, but like, even this phone isn't perfect, right? I really like it, but it's not perfect. So I can't remember the last time Google made like the perfect phone. It's been a long time.
2XL, so. Pixel 2XL.
I guess. I mean, was that phone perfect? Yeah, it was pretty darn close to perfect. But,
at the time.
yeah,
at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I was in the minority in not liking the 4A. I think most humans like the 4A. I didn't really like it, because I thought the performance wasn't great, and the single camera, and I didn't love that phone. I do like the 5, and I think you and I are also in the minority there of liking the 5. I feel like everyone else likes dumping on the 5 because they think the 4A is just such a amazing little cheap phone. Whatever, it's fine for a cheap phone, but I get why they do the 5A thing, the 4A, the A line, because they had a high-end line at one point. Now they don't. The 5 is no longer a high-end phone. And so it makes sense to have the cheap option and the expensive option and push a bunch of units. It's like Samsung does this, right? That's why Samsung sells all these cheap-ass phones. That's why Motorola sells all these cheap-ass phones, because people actually do buy cheap-ass phones all over the world, right? Google's weird thing, though, is they don't really sell phones in that many countries. So the A line makes sense, except that they don't really sell it anywhere, which is always been a weird thing to me. Either way, this is apparently a first look at the 5A, and at this point it's not something to get very excited about, but maybe that will change. Maybe they'll release it in like turquoise, and then we'll think it's pretty. You know what I mean? The colors always get us.
Yeah. Black phone. Yeah, boring.
Yeah, just sell it in a color and we'll get really excited. In kind of the most random news, I think, of the week was it was a report from Ice Universe, who, is a Twitter personality who leaks a lot of Samsung related stuff. Ice Universe suggested that Samsung may ditch Tizen and switch back to Android for its smartwatches. Now, there was no mention of this actually being Wear OS, just said Android. I think we kind of assume it would be Wear OS, unless Samsung is going to take Android and customize the hell out of it and pare it down into their own OS on a watch. Google's already got one made that you can do. And Google, it seems like, is letting more and more people kind of customize Wear OS than they previously were. So I'm interested that Samsung may consider doing that, because I don't like Tizen. I've never really liked it. As much as I liked the Watch Active 2, and that was my favorite watch, like Tizen, I always thought was kind of a garbage OS. I know Wear OS is also pretty much garbage, but if we're gonna let someone like Samsung customize Wear OS a little bit more, it could be good. Like they do with One UI. Like, we like what they do with One UI on top of Android. So if we let Samsung, like Oppo's doing this thing right now, the Oppo watch, which is honestly the most massively ugly smartwatch I think I've ever seen. They pretty heavily customize, but it's Wear OS. So if Google's going to be more open to this thing, I'm all for it. Let Samsung customize Wear OS like they've done with One UI and make the ultimate smartwatch, and run the 4100 if they want, or I guess they could run their own silicone. I don't really care, but I like the idea. I don't know that I fully believe it just yet.
Yeah, I'm really happy for you. No matter what happens,
I forgot to Kellen smartwatch talk. Ding. I forgot to do.
That's okay.
My intro.
And you definitely went over your allotted 15 seconds.
I definitely went over.
Whatever makes Wear OS like a usable platform is cool in my book. I mean, I haven't. I touched it on some like janky piece fossil thing recently, and it was just so shisty. I really hate Wear OS right now. But like, but whose fault is it?
Did you have a 5E? What did you have?
Dude, I don't know. It was like the fade light, something fossil fade light.
That's a diesel. That's a diesel.
Oh yeah, the diesel one. Yes. Well, diesel is fossil group, so
it is. But I was just trying to, because there's a difference. Like the Gen 5 it's somewhere mostly around. A good experience. The diesel one, it didn't have a gig of RAM. I don't think it's like 512. Like it was. There's a reason that watch sucked.
Yeah, so but that's the problem with Wear OS, right? Like anyone who bought that watch is a sucker. And like because it was like $300+
Oh, that's right. It was really expensive.
For a processor from like 5 years ago. RAM? What RAM? Like, dude, that thing barely booted. I remember booting it up and like within 20 minutes, not even 20 minutes, 5 minutes, I was so over it. Yeah. And you said, let it warm up.
You have to let it warm up. You really do have to let Wear OS warm
dude,
up. Dude. Oh my God. You do though.
I can't stand Wear OS, dude. It's terrible. Sure. If Samsung can make it a usable platform, so be it, dude. You said let it warm up.
I totally did. Yeah. Because you have to. How embarrassing is that? Jesus. You do though. And if you let Wear OS kind of just settle into itself, it's okay. Oh, man. If you have a gig of RAM, that diesel thing was never going to warm up. It was never going to warm up. Oh man.
Jesus Christ.
That's really funny. So the only watch you don't have to let do that is the TicWatch Pro, because it has the 4100. That thing actually works out of the box like a smartwatch should. None of the other Wear OS watches do. Just let it warm up, Tim. So anyway, that's the rumor. Actually, I think I saw, we didn't report on this and I didn't look too deeply into it. But Sam Mobile, I think, found some possible model numbers for upcoming Samsung watches. And I think they said the model numbers suggest maybe Wear OS or Android. And so who knows? If it happens, like I said, I just hope because Samsung will use, at least we hope they would use modern technology in it, unlike Fossil, right? Fossil just goes, what's the cheapest thing we can throw in here? Where Samsung, I think, will try to at least create a good watch, like their, Galaxy watches and things like that. And so hopefully they'll use proper hardware, and then they'll just customize Wear OS to be good, which right now, it's mostly been abandoned. My IT lingo, let it warm up. So funny.
It's so good. I'm trying to freaking find where you said warm up, dude. Oh,
so funny. Hans says, how does Fitbit and Google tie in all of this? So I also have an opinion on this, which I don't know if I've talked at length on the show, and I don't know that I want to go too deep into it, but I think I have this prediction, and I've been meaning to write this up, but my predictions are always wrong, so take this for what it's worth. My prediction is that Google will soon announce that they have stopped working on Wear OS altogether, which, shocker, right? They never do anything with Wear OS. So that part of it isn't really that. But I think they will actually say we're no longer going to improve or add new features to Wear OS, but we'll maintain the platform and leave it there for anyone who wants to use it, right? Because they have all these companies like Fossil who have built business around Wear OS, right? But so I think they'll leave it in a place where there'll probably be one more year where Fossil will push out, and what they'll do is they'll say, this is sort of the baseline where we're leaving it. And if you want to improve it, skin it, customize it, whatever you want to do to it, you just do that to it. But we're not going to add to Wear OS anymore. And so you'll see Fossil again, and then, maybe Samsung will. And then they'll just abandon. Did we just go offline? My internet just says I went offline. Am I still talking to you?
Oh, I hear you.
That is so weird. My entire internet just went, you are offline. But we're still live? I think we're still live. I can still talk to you. So let's just wait 1 second to see if anyone says anything. Because I see your amen guy, and that's all.
Yeah. I see it. I see.
He says he had to refresh.
Oh, okay.
Anyone else still there?
Okay, cool. Guys there, it blips.
Okay.
All right, man. All right, cool.
I have no idea how it did that without completely killing it, but we'll just go with it. Anyway, so I'll wrap this up. So I think Google will probably announce that they're abandoning Wear OS and they're going to leave the platform there for people to still use if they want to. And they are just going to then push Fitbit. And so Wear OS will be a thing that they don't really care about, but they'll push Fitbit and they'll work on Fitbit's OS to make it better. And they'll start pushing Fitbit. That's my guess. That's my prediction. And again, that's based on absolutely nothing other than like a gut feeling of where Wear OS is at right now and how we've seen no new watches that run the 4100 and everyone seems like they're kind of stepping back. The only thing I think that would change my opinion is if Samsung really does take Wear OS on, then maybe that changes my whole theory there. So we'll see. Anyway, I've talked enough about watches.
Yeah, goodbye watches. I mean, just get a regular watch, people, if you need to tell the time. I mean, it's no big deal.
Yeah. Christian says, I don't like your prediction, but it's what Google would do. That's kind of the thing. It feels like something that Google would do. They would say, like, look, we'll leave this here. And if you guys want to use it, you can use it. And but we're not going to like actively develop for it anymore. And the only reason they would do that is because they just have partners who are using the platform currently. And then once those partners kind of wean off it, which is probably what they're hoping will happen when they stop supporting it, then they'll just kill it. That's my prediction. So
yeah, I mean, just the fact that we have one watchmaker using the 4100 and like Fossil, the I would argue is maybe the biggest Wear OS like manufacturer. I mean, they haven't talked about their 4100 device yet, even though they're supposed to have one, the 6, right? The Gen 6.
I mean, they've never even mentioned it, so
right. So
we assume that they're still building it, but
yeah, like they just released an LTE watch that's running on the 3100 still. Like what a total, like don't get suckered into this. Like come on.
Well, they
don't
refreshed with the 5E, right? Because they didn't want to do a 6 then. And then they refreshed again with the LTE 5 because again, they didn't want to go with the 6. And it's like, you guys got to stop. You got to stop doing this. Like, I don't know if Fossil just has a pile of 3100s that they're just like, well, we bought all of them from Qualcomm, so we got to put these in something or what. But I don't understand what Fossil's doing because currently to this day we still have the TicWatch Pro 3 has the 4100 and that is it. And they released that right away when that chip was announced, and no one else has even suggested they're working on one. So that's not a good sign at all. I mean, because that chip actually is good. The TicWatch Pro 3 is good. It's a big watch and it runs Wear OS, but it performs well, and it seemed like an opportunity to actually have some sort of future. But here we are.
Here we are.
Google doesn't like Wear OS.
No.
Okay, so I won't spend too much time on this, but I did finally review the Galaxy S21, the regular one, and it is sitting on the desk behind me, so I can't hold it up to talk. So S21, I think a couple weeks ago I talked a little bit about this. The S21 I just don't think is an amazing phone. I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with the regular Galaxy S21, which is what I'm talking about. Tim reviewed the Ultra. The Ultra is a beast phone. Like if you want the best phone available today and you don't mind the size, like that phone is absurdly good. It's huge, it's fast, the display is good, the camera's good, all that stuff. S21 Ultra, great phone. S21, I've spent, how many weeks have I had this thing? Like a month or something?
About.
So, I talked about, I think in our last show, or maybe a write-up I did about how I was sticking with the Pixel 5, but like I found performance not to be great. A software update, I think, has improved that some. But there's not much to get excited about with this phone. The display's good. Like Samsung, all displays are good. I didn't find it to be the most amazing display I've ever seen in my life. And maybe that's just because their displays are just so good and I'm used to them. But the camera, like there's nothing to get excited about with the camera. It's last year's camera. They didn't, like the Ultra, which Tim has, they improved the camera. On the S21, it's just the same camera that they had in the S20. So it's hard to be like, oh, I'm going to take even better pictures than I did last year. Well, you're probably not, unless the Snapdragon 888 really starts doing some magic there. I just had issues where Samsung cut everything. And we've written about this too, but they cut the RAM to 8 gig. They cut MST. They cut the SD card slot. The 1080p resolution, I don't really care because the S20 last year I ran at 1080p for 120 hertz. The Pixel 5 that I like, the 1080p, I don't really care. But cutting RAM, MST, and SD card slot, those are meaningful cuts, and especially when I had performance issues. Battery life's not great on it. It's fine. It's not great. They're not pushing any new like charging technologies, which seems like an area Samsung should be focused on. If there are good things, it's the display again looks great, and the software we've talked a lot about on the show we like. That was kind of it for me. The S21 just seems like a phone you should probably skip. Like if you find a regular Galaxy S20 from last year at a reasonable price, it's probably a better phone. It has more RAM, has an SD card slot, has MST, has just as good of a display, and it comes with a charger. Not that I care about that, right? The S20 is arguably a better phone than the S21, and we don't say things like that very often. Going from one year to the next, there's typically supposed to be improvements, and I don't really know that this phone improved. They changed the design up a little bit, which is fine. And I like plastic phones sometimes. This plastic I didn't love. So yeah, the S21. My recommendation there is look around a lot before you decide to buy it. I don't think it will do you wrong. I just, I like the Pixel 5 more than it. There are probably OnePlus 8 Pros out there that are cheaper or around the same price. It might be better. I think the Galaxy S20 is probably better. The Note 20 Ultra, although that's really expensive, is probably better. I mean, there's like a bunch of phones that I think are competitive with this are probably better. I think this is an off year for Samsung. I think they've sold a bunch of these. I don't know why. I hope everyone's just buying the Ultra is kind of where I hope that goes.
Yeah, well, we shall see. I'm back on the Ultra. The Pixel 5, I don't know what's up with it in my house. Like I just get no service. Whenever someone's trying to call me, it doesn't even ring. So I'm over it. I'm back to the S21 Ultra because at least this thing can get phone calls in my house.
So funny.
Yeah, it sucks, but it's so big. It really is like a pain when you're into the fashion like I am, and you're like into skinny jeans and little shorts and stuff.
It's just skinny jeans are out.
In North Portland, maybe where you're at. You're in South Portland, but I'm in North Portland. Skinny jeans still very much in.
Yeah, I'm just saying everyone's out of fashion there, according to was it Gen Z or the young kids? Haven't they been, I feel like this has been a multi-week saga in the news, the fashion news world, where young kids have been telling us all that no one wears skinny jeans and they don't part their hair on the side anymore. They're saying women don't do side parts, it's only middle, and no one wears skinny jeans, and if you do, you're just an old fool. It was seriously a multi-week saga.
Well, thanks for sending me the link, man. I had no idea.
Skinny jeans are apparently long gone, according to the young kids.
Well, thankfully, I don't really leave the house all too often anymore.
I don't even put pants on. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Shorts.
Sweats.
Shorts. Yeah.
Just constantly.
Yeah. So anyway, I don't know. Oh, because you were saying the phone, your fashion sense. That's right.
Yeah.
It's good to hear that you're back on that Ultra, though.
Yeah. I mean, it's a great device. I mean, the speakers also. I mean, I could say there's a lot of things better than the Pixel 5, dude.
Yes,
it's a long list.
Yeah, the Pixel 5 is kind of that. It just kind of works.
It just kind of works.
Not unless you're getting phone calls. It apparently doesn't work for that. But just kind of works. Like the display's fine. The battery life is great on the Pixel 5, which is one of the things I really love. The camera's fine. It works. The software I like. It just kind of works. There's nothing amazing about the Pixel 5. It's just one of those. Yeah. Anyway, so it doesn't surprise me that you went back from the Ultra to the 5, and then you were like, wait a minute, I missed this frosted black glass body.
Yeah.
No, we're not showing those comments. Jesus.
Anyway, before we dive into our next topic, I wanted to shout out to Gary the Fireman, $10 donation. Said episode 250 and new internet for Kellen. It's so funny because Kellen is always showing off his, he has one of those routers that looks like a freaking spider or whatever, with antennas going everywhere.
I did at one point.
Yeah, and I swear his internet's not that great sometimes. And then, of course, Charles, PC747.
That's amazing. Yours is the one that's been dying on every other show.
Yeah, maybe but I get, Nest Wi-Fi, man. It's not
that's
good,
your problem.
So yeah. $20 from Charles W. Thank you so much. No message to go along with it, but hope you're staying well and staying safe out there, Charles.
That's right, Charles.
Take it
with the
easy.
Pre-show big bomb. That's right.
That's right. Hope everyone's just staying safe, man.
And cheers, Gary, for that $10. Sorry, I missed that.
Yeah.
Okay, so final topic is for any of the long-time readers. This is a big topic for the old Verizon crew. Remember the unlimited data folks that hung on to that unlimited plan for far too long, and they were paying, like, Verizon priced them out of it, and they stuck with it out of, just whatever, out of principle or something. So T-Mobile this week announced Magenta Max, and it is supposedly a truly unlimited data plan with no throttling whatsoever. So it's available. I think today is the day it launched. It's available for $85 for a single line. And if you have multi-lines, they give you some discounts and things like that. So truly unlimited means premium data on 4G and 5G, no throttling ever. So, like, for example, their regular Magenta plan, which they also updated, you can use up to 100 gig of premium data, which is actually a lot. I think they were at 50. Now it's 100 gig. So unlimited premium data. Unfortunately, for mobile hotspotting, you're capped at 40 gig. So you can't hotspot your life away for 2 terabytes a month like people were doing on that old Verizon plan. So truly unlimited. You also get 4K streams, go in-flight access, because everyone's flying around the country these days, weirdly. And $85 for truly unlimited.
That's great.
I don't think I'm switching to that thing. I do have a T-Mobile plan, but I don't need. I'm on Wi-Fi all day.
Exactly. I mean, it seems like of course they do it now when people are home and not. It's of course they would. We'll see. We have a few people. I know of a few people that are currently testing this whole unlimited thing, this claim of unlimited. So we'll see just how unlimited it is.
I was tempted to switch for 1 month and just download as many 4K things as I could every single day, just to see how much data I could rack up and to see if they did. But even using 100 gig would probably take a while. So I don't think I'm going to do that test. I will let you guys do that test. Look, now everyone thinks I have bad internet. I actually don't have bad internet, you guys. My internet's totally fine.
Sorry. I mean, I have gig internet. I don't know what you have.
Yeah, I've had it for a really long time.
Yeah, and I can't even.
And I have a good router. I don't have Nest
exactly.
Wi-Fi.
I know. I'm only. I thought it would be good. I thought it would be an upgrade from Google Wi-Fi. Turns out it wasn't.
No, it's the exact same product in a new package, basically.
I got screwed.
You did.
That's right.
Christian says he still has the Verizon unlimited. Really? You still have that crazy? Are you paying like $130 a month?
Paying? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you got to be paying like $130 a month for that. You're crazy. Because Verizon made a bunch of changes to just push everyone off of it, and they blocked like tethering, and there were some workarounds and all this stuff. Eddie says I never gave up on. Eddie, you have it too? Well, he pays $95. That's not that bad. Evan said it's like $150 a month. Yeah, see, Evan Brown has it. He says $150 a month. Why? You guys are crazy. What are you guys doing?
I don't know. Do you really need it? Is it like the principle of the thing where you're just stubborn, or do you actually need that?
Yeah, are you just using the data? Like, do you need it, or are you just doing it just because to stick it to Verizon, which is totally fine?
$360 a month, brother. Come on.
You're crazy.
That is ridiculous.
That is crazy. I mean, I think I have 2 or 3 different lines, and I don't think I pay that.
That's a lot.
We got, that's a lot.
I mean, watch Prawn on Wi-Fi. I mean, come on.
Mobile Prawn.
Yeah.
Crazy that people still have it. We should almost ask on the site how many people still have that plan just to see.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we can do that.
Oh yeah, see, they even broke the hotspot workaround. Oh man, brutal. Anyways, that's it for topics. It is as you can see from the lights that have been shining on Tim, it's trivia time. Yes, Trivia is back. So if you're new around here and you hung out through all of that BS, it's trivia. We do trivia at the end of most shows. I used to say every show, but we had a couple recently, I thought, where we did. Anyway, we do trivia, and we have like 5 questions. You answer if you're live in the chat. You just type the answer when we put the question up and Tim reads it. If you're correct first, we'll call out your name. You win. And again, Aukey supplied us with some dope 65-watt Omnia chargers, 2-port. Just stupid fast.
Fast. 65 watts, stupid fast.
Yeah, I mean, they're like the speed of your big old computer charger, except they're about half the size. You could fit 2 of these in an outlet, whereas, your stupid giant computer charger, you can't. They block half the thing. So, yeah. So 5 of these from Aukey, Omnia 65 watts. Did you have a theme for this trivia, Tim?
Oh yeah, I got a theme. I was told people, if you don't follow me already on Twitter @TimOtato, I did say that today's trivia was going to be a little difficult, but that's because we have awesome prizes. So today's theme is model number madness. I'm going to read questions that concern model numbers for devices. And you're going to have to probably Google as quickly as possible to figure out what device that model number belongs to. There is no model number that's just 12. I looked. Unfortunately, it doesn't exist. So, yep, I'm going to read questions, model numbers. You're going to give me the device, and you're going to win some sweet prizes. Real quick, because I don't know if we stressed this enough. For prizes that we have to ship, it's U.S. only, please. So I know that sucks, but shipping internationally is such a pain.
It's a pain.
especially right now. So if you are playing, please live within the US. If you win and you tell me that you give me an international shipping address, you are not going to get the prize. Just there's that. We've had to do that a couple of times recently, and we just can't do it. Sorry. Yeah. So US only, please. Other than that, and like, why are you? This charger won't necessarily work everywhere, right? Outside the US, you don't even want it. So, anyway, there. I've said my piece.
Said. Yes, you have. Yeah, this is gonna be somewhat difficult trivia. There might be a gap there between people Googling. We'll see. Some of you might know your model number.
Exactly. And there are a couple little hints within the questions, but nothing that's really going to be all that easy. So I'm ready when you are. We fire it up.
Question number 1 is up now.
All right. Model number XQAS62. Again, XQAS62 belongs to what triluminous toting device? Again, model number XQAS62 belongs to what triluminous toting device?
I see Greg.
I'm seeing Greg. Yeah, Greg Smith Jr. with the correct answer. The Xperia 5 Mark II. Nice. Very nice. I don't think Greg Smith Jr. has ever won a prize here. And if that's the case,
so either. I think that's a first timer.
Greg, let us know. Have you ever won before? If not, congratulations.
Congrats, Greg. That was pretty fast for.
That was.
Did you just know that, or did you actually look that up? I was curious because that one, like, I had no idea. I was reading Tim's question earlier and was like, huh?
He says first time. Rock on. Hey, I'll give you a little. That
was easy.
Nice. Rock on, Greg. Military alphabet, please. All right, I can do that. All right, well, I am ready.
Google in 144p gang said, nice. Yeah. Love that play.
Oh, rock on, man. Good stuff. I love it. All right, well, I'm ready for question number 2, please.
Question number 2 is up now.
What AT&T bound device shipped with the model number D Delta 850? Again, what AT&T bound device shipped with model number Delta 850? D850. I'm seeing Matt Kwan. Matt Kwan was the first person with the LG G3. Nice. Matt Kwan. He's a recent winner, if I'm not mistaken.
Jackson and Chris, you were close.
It was very close.
On our chat, yeah. All three of
Jackson,
you were
right behind. Yeah. Congratulations, Matt Kwan.
I feel like Chris has been silently waiting in the shadows.
Yes, he has.
Waiting for trivia. Because I almost said before we started, like, haven't seen Chris Williams. You guys might have stand a chance to win. And then he shows up, fired off.
Well, yeah.
You got beat that time, Chris. You did.
Exactly. Trying to think of questions that someone might need to type in, right? That way, because Chris knows everything. It's ridiculous.
He does.
So he can't go back into the data banks. All right, I'm ready. Question. This one's going to be tough? Okay.
No, it's not going to be tough.
All right. Question number 3, please.
Question number 3 is up now.
Model number XT1103 belonged to what whale of a device? Whoa! God, you know what? I'm going to accept. I was looking for Nexus 6, but I will definitely take Shamu. Chris Williams, the correct answer of Shamu, aka the Nexus 6. You know, it was too easy.
We talked this much trash. Yeah, this much trash to Chris, and he goes, "Watch this."
He makes it look so easy. Chris Williams. All right, congratulations, Chris. Constant winner. Constant. It's ridiculous. All right, I've got you locked in there. Chris, congratulations. Of course, Nick, you were right behind him. Luke, right behind him. Chris was right behind the same Chris with the other. It's ridiculous. He is gifted. He's gifted. All right, this is a good one. I'm ready when you are. Question number 4, please.
Question number 4 is up now.
What lump of turd came with model number H1A 1000? Again, what lump of turd came with model number H1A 1000?
I don't think that's a hint. That's just how much that's how we feel about this. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Not the Thunderbolt guy. Yeah. Who? Non-rev guy. Yes. Congratulations, non-rev guy, with the correct answer of the red hydrogen 1.
Yeah.
Non-rev guy. Man, that phone sucked.
Greg, you were ahead of him, but you already won the first question. So non-rev guy with red hydrogen 1.
Yeah. Okay.
Lump of turd. What a terrible phone.
Yeah. Brandon says they're going to trash us in the forums.
H4vuser.net. God, I love that place. I spent like 2 weeks in H4vuser.net, and it is a wild place. You know, I probably need to go back. You know, every once in a while, you just got to check back on these things.
Yeah.
You know, it's like all the Indiegogo phone scams over the years. I always, like, every once in a while, like Sagas and those, I check back just to see if there's an update. I might need to go back to H4V, just see what's up.
So good. H4V. I mean, come on, dude. That's ridiculous.
Nothing screams $1,500 phone and support like H4vuser.net.
Okay. Hey, thank you, Greg. Shout out, man. Much appreciated. Thank you for the support. All right. Question number 5, please. Last question. Good luck,
Question
everybody.
number 5 is up now.
If Band-Aids had model numbers, it'd be SMG900. What's the phone? Ooh, oh, Nick, so close. Rashad Gaddis with the correct answer came in super quick with the S5.
Super quick.
The Band-Aid must have given it away.
It did.
Yeah. All right, next time it's not going to be so easy, folks. There will be no hints. Rashad Gaddis, congratulations. Correct answer, Galaxy S5.
Next time you're just going to shout out model numbers only.
Exactly.
Yeah, Rashad had the win there. Nick, you were like instantly behind him again.
Yeah.
The Band-Aid phone.
All right, so my winners.
Again, yeah. Sorry, Nick. It really was that close.
It really was, man. Greg Smith Jr., Matt Kwan, Chris Williams, non-rev guy, Rashad Gaddis. I know many of you already have my email. So this one is specifically for Greg, basically. Winners, email me, and we will get your prize sent out to you ASAP Rocky style. It's in the chat. So again, Greg Smith Jr., Matt Kwan, Chris Williams, non-rev guy, and Rashad Gaddis. Get those emails out to me. Please don't make me wait. Just kidding. You guys are super quick about it. Very nice. And some sweet chargers coming at you. These Aukey.
They are really good.
You say Aukey? It's got to be Aukey.
I think it's Aukey. Everyone else told me it was Aukey in the chat. So I thought it was like ow, like Aukey. but everyone said it's Aukey, so I'm going with what everyone else says. I
You
have
know,
changed.
I mispronounce things all the time, so it's
Same.
totally fine.
Same.
Yeah.
Right,
How's
cool.
everybody doing?
Sun's out. Feels great here, Portland. You know,
Hey, sun's out, but it's freaking cold and
it's a little
windy.
cold. We might hit 60 later the next week though, which I'm very excited about. Ready for some warmth.
Snow has melted, yes. Dual ports on these
Mostly.
chargers.
Yeah, USB-C and A, right? Both.
Yep. USB-C's got the power delivery. So that's what you're going to plug your MacBooks into, your Pixels and Galaxies and whatnot.
Feel bad for Nick. He's like, he can't believe it. He's like, 3 times I was ahead. Seriously, you were within a split second on our chat every single time, dude.
I'm so sorry, Nick. Nick's won before though. He'll be back in the winner's circle.
He'll be back.
I'm sure.
He'll be back. All right, cool. Well, jeez, I feel like there's not a lot going on these days. So, like NBA's just mid-season. We're mid-season form. There's no football anymore. I don't think.
No, man. Yeah, the Blazers got to get a W. Thankfully, LeBron is not the MVP we all thought we were. He was being hoisted by Anthony Davis. I mean, you can get 20 assists a game when you've got someone like Anthony Davis in the paint. So, yeah.
Yeah, the true MVP, Damian Lillard, will probably drop 75 tonight on LeBron's face. It'll be great.
He better, because after the last couple of performances, I'm getting a little nervous. Maybe too much pressure on him. I don't know what the deal is, but yeah. Sports.
No hockey. D3 college football is really playing right now. That's crazy.
Jeez.
So weird. Huh. All right. Well, I think that's all I got. I don't know what we're like the future is for the news world. And usually like I'm like, we'll see if we have a show because there's something coming up. We're just kind of cruising now. We got Android 12. I'm done finally with the S21. Tim's back on that Ultra. LG hasn't said a word in months. There's a rumor that they're canceling their rollables, so we don't have that to look at. We think OnePlus probably is coming up soon. Things are weird this year. Maybe the 5A will come sooner, but probably not. It's probably like a May thing. I don't know. We'll see. We'll figure stuff out. Maybe we'll get 5G or something. I'll run a 5G test and post that. You guys haven't seen that before, right?
Yeah. Oh, iPhone 13 hype. Most definitely, Bird, sir.
Yeah. Tim and I will both be switching to the iPhone 13 if it has 120 hertz and always on display. Those are the only things in life that matter when you own a phone.
Pretty much. Chris Williams just quickly asking, are you guys actually using 12 on your daily drivers? No. Those are just... Oh, well, yes, you are for like a day until you realize it's trash.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I just use it on my
advise anyone do it. Yeah, I wouldn't advise anyone else do it, but I am running it. The notifications in Android 12 are fantastic. I love the new notifications, but that's just one part of it. The rest of it, I don't. Greg says foldables should dominate. Yeah, see, are foldables going to be dominant this year? Because we know Samsung will do it again. There's a rumor that Google is working on one, but like, Huawei's doing it, but Huawei doesn't even, make Android phones anymore, I don't think, nor do they sell them here. Xiaomi, they don't sell anything here. Like, I feel like the only foldable in town is still Samsung. Like Oppo teased a rollable, but Oppo doesn't really sell here. I don't know. I feel like last year put everything on hold. And so this year probably just going to be like a kind of off year. I don't know. I don't know.
All right. Everyone has emailed me except Greg. Greg, please don't forget to email me. I will have no way to contact you. So yeah. Anyway.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us, everyone. We will be back. Probably not next week. We're doing kind of an every other week thing, unless something crazy happens this week. But otherwise,
it would have to be effing crazy.
Yeah, we didn't even launch a special show for Android 12, so
yeah.
Yeah. otherwise, we'll see you guys probably in a couple weeks. Thanks for joining us. Congrats everyone on the prizes. Shout out to Aukey. Shout out to Ewin. We'll see you guys soon.
Peace. Bye. Peace.